Hello, this Sunday we are sharing on the fourth Sunday of Lent, and the theme would be about the prodigal son and the father's love. Okay, the prodigal son and the father's love. Look at his bedraggled clothes when he came back. So we're going to share on the Gospel of Luke. Tax collectors and sinners were all drawing near to listen to Jesus, but the Pharisees and scribes began to complain, saying, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." So to them Jesus addressed this parable. So here Jesus showed his concern for sinners, and he could attract them to come near and listen to him. And but the Pharisees and scribes complained about him welcoming sinners and eating with them. So Jesus welcomed sinners so as to help them to become good, to negate their sins. And so Jesus gave a parable to them, to the Pharisees and scribes, to help them to understand. The parable is about a man had two sons, and the younger son said to his father, "Father, give me the share of your estate that should come to me." So the father divided the property between them. So the two sons, and the younger son wanted his father to share out his share to him. And the father did not only consider the younger son, but when he shared, he had two shares, one for the younger son and one for the elder son. So he divided the property between them. When he had after a few days, the younger son collected all his belongings and set off to a distant country, where he squandered his inheritance on a life of dissipation. So the younger son took everything with him and went to a distant country and used all his money, all his inheritance, wasted all of it on dissipation. When he had freely spent everything, a severe famine struck that country, and he found himself in dire need. So he hired himself out to one of the local citizens, who sent him to his farm to tend the swine. And he longed to eat his fill of the pods on which the swine fed, but nobody gave him any. So he spent all his money, and a severe famine happened in the country, and so he had nothing, and he was in dire need. So he hired himself out to the local citizens, and they sent him to his farm to tend the swine. But he did not get much to eat, and so he longed to eat his fill of the pods which the swine ate, but nobody gave him any. Even what the swine would eat would not be given to him. So he was in a serious situation. So this made him come to his senses. Coming to his senses, he thought, how many of my father's hired workers have more than enough food to eat, and here I am, dying from hunger. I shall get up and go to my father, and shall say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. So he came to his senses, and he thought he should go back to his father's place where there was lots to eat. But he would admit his sin, his wrong, not only against his father, but against heaven, against God. So he prepared himself to meet with his father and apologize. And then he would also say, I no longer deserve to be called your son. Treat me as you would treat one of your hired workers. So he was thinking of saying this to his father. So he got up and went back to his father. While he was still a long way off, his father caught sight of him and was filled with compassion and ran to his son, embraced him and kissed him. So here we could see something about the father. If he could see his son from a long way off, it would most probably be that he would be waiting for his son to come back, waiting for the prodigal son to come back. So he might be watching the road all the time. And so when the son was still far away, he could see him. And he ran up to him. He did not wait for him to come, but ran up to him, embraced him, and kissed him. The father was thus showing his real concern for the son, his concern and his love for his son. His son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I no longer deserve to be called your son. So here he apologized, admit his sin, but his father ordered his servants, quickly bring the finest robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Take the fattened calf and slaughter it. So the father was thinking of welcoming his son and giving better clothes to wear, a ring on his finger, and something on his feet, his sandals on his feet. Not only that, but he also slaughtered the fattened calf to celebrate. And the fattened calf will mostly be reserved for a special occasion, especially for occasion of worshiping God. So here the special fattened calf was slaughtered for him. And he said, then let us celebrate with a feast, because this son of mine was dead and has come to life again. He was lost and has been found. So for the father, it was his son was as if he was dead, but he came to life again. Seemed to be lost, but has been found again. Then the celebration began. Now the older brother had been out in the field, and on his way back, as he neared the house, he heard the sound of music and dancing. So the older son was coming back from the field and did not know about what happened. So he called one of the servants and asked them what this might mean, the music and the dancing, etc. And the servant said to him, your brother has returned, and your father has slaughtered the fattened calf, because he has him back safe and sound. So the servant understood his father, that he was celebrating his son coming back safe and sound. Then the elder brother became angry, and when he refused to enter the house, his father came out and pleaded with him. Now the elder son was angry, but the father seemed to understand, and he came out to persuade him. And the father came out and pleaded with him. He said to his father in reply, the elder brother, "Look, all these years I served you, and not once did I disobey your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat to feast on with my friends." So he was not satisfied that the father seemed to do more for the younger son than for him, although he was all the time very good and obedient. And the elder son continued, "But when your son returns, who swallowed up all your property with prostitutes, that means he used the money, the property, for prostitutes. For him you slaughter the fattened calf." So the elder son was said, "For such a son, you slaughter the fattened calf." But the father said to him, "My son, you are here with me always. Everything I have is yours. But now we must celebrate and rejoice, because your brother was dead and has come to life again. He was lost and has been found." So the father understood the elder son and assured him that that everything I have is yours. But now we don't only talk about property, we must talk about celebrating and rejoicing. Why? Because your brother, your younger brother, was dead and came to life again. It was as if the younger brother had died, had gone away, but now had come to life again, lost and has been found. So here the father tried to explain to the elder brother, and also to convince him to rejoice and celebrate together, that his younger brother, to welcome his younger brother back, and coming back to life, was lost but has been found. So here we see the revelation of the love of the father, caring for the younger son, also caring and understanding the elder brother, and trying to explain to him to celebrate together for the return of his younger brother. So here we see giving him a new cloak, the best robe, sandals for his feet, and ring for his finger. The prodigal son and the father's love. So this is the fourth Sunday of Lent, and here we pick out that Jesus cares for sinners. And the Pharisees said, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." Jesus cares for them. So here, cares for sinners. So he gave the parable about the prodigal son, that the father cares about the prodigal son, although he had not been good. So the prodigal son came to his senses, and he thought he would say to his father when he returned, "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I no longer deserve to be called your son." So here he would admit, the prodigal son, the younger son, would admit that he had done wrong, and now he would like to do good. But he admits that he did not deserve to be called the son. And here we see about the father's love. While still a long way off, his father caught sight of him and was filled with compassion. He ran to his son, embraced him, and kissed him. So the father was like waiting for his son to come back, waiting, and waiting. So when he see him afar off, he ran up to him. He did not wait for the younger son to come to him, but ran to him and embraced him and kissed him. This showed his concern for his son, his constant concern. But the elder brother, the elder son, was angry when he found out. And the father came out to explain to him, plead with the elder son. "We must celebrate and rejoice because your brother was dead and has come to life again. He was lost and has been found." So here, the special thing about this week would be that Jesus cares for sinners, and that the prodigal son would signify admitting wrong and coming back. And the father would signify love, similar to God's love, and caring for sinners and hoping to help sinners. And to rejoice when sinners come back, rejoice and celebrate. And help others to learn to do similar rejoicing and celebration for the sinner to become good, to come back. So we must also learn this, learn the Father's love, also learn to care for sinners, and that sinners would be saved. Okay? Is for Lent we must have this to help us to really celebrate the resurrection and victory of Christ over sin and death. Okay? God bless.